Hey, what's up, everybody? Pat here, grateful recovering alcoholic and addict, just like every day, my friends. Guys, welcome to today's video. Guys, please don't forget to subscribe, hit that like button, leave me a comment, and by all means, share it with somebody who might get something out of it. Other than that, let's just get it going. Guys, today we're going to be on the Just for Today NA meditation. It's titled As We Understand. And then the subtitle is We Examined Our Lives and Discovered Who We Really Are. To be truly humble is to accept and honestly try to be ourselves. And again, I love that, right? This is something I've talked about on a number of occasions. A big part of why I was out there in active addiction for as long as I was is I had no sense of self-worth and really just no sense of self. I was always, I just didn't, I didn't invest in myself. I didn't give my concerns and my needs any credence. I thought, everything that defined who I was and defined my value was the work that I produced. So therefore, I figured as long as I was working, I must be okay. And that wasn't the case. I mean, I was, and every single time that worked, that worked out the same way. I would be working to get high and getting high to work, and just, no matter how much money I made, it all went to drug dealers, and I wouldn't, would be able to afford, save, and the whole nonsense hamster spinning wheel that becomes. But when I got into rehab this time around, and I've talked about this as well, one of my primary concerns was walking in. I had absolutely no idea who I was, what my values were, what my life was going to look like sober, what I wanted it to look like sober, what mattered to me, And so that's something I started focusing on, and I did so by finding my higher power and having conversation with God and asking for help, and then just examining my life. And one thing that stuck out to me is like, I'm always happiest when I'm being of service. I'm like, as much as I wanted to, and that's the thing, guys. I was so far out of alignment. I'm running around trying to be this, tough guy, biker, mechanic, fucking, drug deal, whatever, just idiot, right? That's not who I am. Yes, I ride a Harley Davidson. I love my Harley. I'll always have my Harley. But it doesn't mean I have to be a 1%er, hardcore biker, because I never have been. I barely ever ride the thing. I spend more time working on it than I do riding it. I like to be of service. I like when people, when I'm helping those around me. I like to see other people kind of, get their shit together, and I like to be a part of that. But I understood that, nobody, and I was always so mad that, nobody ever does for me what I do for everybody else. And then I had to understand by looking at my life, well, I don't do that for me. So I'm putting out the signal that I don't want that I don't need that. Because if I'm not nurturing myself, why would you take the time to nurture me? Because I'm walking around acting like I don't need so. So a big part of it for me was exactly that, examining my life and figuring out who I am, what mattered to me. And it has been very humbling, because I'm not out trying to impress anybody anymore with any, of the shit that I used to. Today, I try to be the best person I can to impress myself, so that when I come home at night, I feel like I've made a difference in the world around me today. It means so much to me to participate, to collaborate, and to add value to somebody's day, to my day. But that's the thing, guys. I put my needs before anything today, because I also understand that I'm no good to anybody else if I'm not on top of my game, which means I'm responsible for keeping myself on top of my game, and in doing so, it's amazing to me. I actually, guys, you don't understand. Like, I've come a long way. I mean, I'm not a model, but I literally used to not look in mirrors because I was so horrified by the way that what I saw staring back at me. I was terrified by that. And not that I'm standing around modeling today, but I can honestly say I can look at myself on camera. I can look at myself in the mirror, and I see how far I've come, and I appreciate it. Like, my face doesn't look sunken. My eyes aren't all hollow and swollen in. I don't look like I'm a decrepit crypt keeper. And I did at some points, guys. It looked really, really bad. I mean, I'm, I had a healthy weight today. I actually went. I actually just getting back from the wake. My cousin's wake. My cousin, beautiful, wonderful kid, who had a lot of health, struggled with a lot of health issues, passed away this week at 37 years old, and it was a fucking absolute tragedy. And I just had to go comfort her, my aunt, her mom, and it was nice. I got to see some cousins that I haven't seen in literally 30 years, and that's my mother's side of the family. I really haven't seen a lot of them and that long or longer. I didn't know most of the people there, and even the ones that I got to talk to that know who I am had no idea who I was until I introduced myself. It's been that long. But again, it's nice that I could be there, and that's the one thing. Like my cousin who passed away kept in touch with me on Facebook, and she always, every time I was trying to get back in recovery when I was starting my YouTube channel, she was right there cheering me on. She's just a good kid, and she was taken way too young, and it's a shame that somebody who had a heart of gold never really had a fair shot in life, and I don't know how we get on the tangent, but anyway, I'm coming back from I'm literally just posting late tonight because I literally just walked in the door from the wake. It was an hour plus ride there, and traffic was terrible. But again, it was nice that in all these tragedies, I could remain myself and not try and use it as some excuse to go off the rails and this poor kid lost her life. Let me go ruin mine by using drugs. Like, that's the furthest thing from my mind today. What I did, and the only reason I bring it up, is I realized halfway through yesterday that the wake was from 4 to 7 tonight in Walpole, which is an hour south of where I am. And at 5:30 today, I had my doctor's appointment for my monthly Sublocade injection, which again, that's top priority. I have to put my needs first, and that's my number one priority is making sure that I'm protected from my disease, my addiction. Right? That's my cure for the time being. Right? So what I did, guys, I was working in the area. I finished work about 3 o'clock, and I went directly to my doctor's. Now, I called yesterday and tried to reschedule. There's no other openings. So I went there, and I got to the front desk. And again, this is why you show up and you be kind to everybody, guys. I go there, and I interact, and I go out of my way, understanding that these poor nurses are dealing with a bunch of addicts on methanomile. People trying to get over on them all day long, and at least and every one of them tells me, like, oh my God, we get so excited when you come in because we get to deal with you, because I'm a success story. And not only that, but I'm a kind person. I go out of my way to see how they're doing it and let them know that I appreciate the work that they're doing for me. Now, I do this because it's the right thing to do. This is how I am. Well, now here comes today. I show up 3 hours early for my appointment and explain, listen, there was a death in the family, there's a wake, and it's in Walpole. Is there any way that I could possibly get seen early? And they literally dropped what they were doing and got me in, got me out. I was out of my doctor's appointment 15, 20 minutes later. And that's why you do the things that I encourage you to do. This is why, and again, I don't do this for these reasons, but when something comes up and you're the shining star, you're the one person that they're excited to see when they see you, because you make their life easy and you make them understand that there's a reason they do their job. I mean, that's, first of all, that to me in and of itself makes me feel amazing. I love to be on that side of things today. I like to be the positive example for a change. But more than that, here it is now. They understand. And again, I'm not in there because it's convenient for me, but I explained to them there was a death in the family. I'd like to be there for them today because people I haven't seen in decades, and and because I wouldn't be there if I wasn't clean and sober. And they literally dropped what they were doing, got me in, got me out, and wished me well, and they were great. You know what I mean? This is why when you do these things, guys, when you live spiritually, when you find your relationship with a higher power, and then you challenge yourself to be the best version of you, and you try to make somebody else's day. I've been saying this for months. I try to make every single person that I interact with during the day have a better day for having met me. And when you do these things day in and day out, guys, you start to leave a little legacy around. And again, I talked about before, like everywhere I go, I walk in, people know me by name. They know my story, and they're excited to see me because, again, I try to bring positivity with me everywhere I go, and I don't fake it. I find gratitude in life. I live in a state of gratitude, and the blessings keep piling in because that's what I'm putting out to the universe. And it's bringing it right back to me because I'm taking action. I'm following the signs and synchronicities that are being sent to me. I'm taking leaps of faith. I take every opportunity I can to make the world a better place. And then, again, I literally have dedicated myself to being of service. And it's not, and it's the thing, guys. So many times people say, okay, well, this is the box I'm going to put myself in. This is where I'm going to be of service. No, I try to be of service anywhere and everywhere I can. Again, I'm not running around handing out money. But I try to be a positive light in everybody's day that I come across. And what I'm finding is now this has been going on for, 5+ months. And I've always been upbeat and positive anyway. But I'm saying during my recovery, this is my new world that I'm in. As everywhere I go, I'm making a difference. And it's funny, because the universe sees that I'm enjoying doing that, it's putting me in places to make differences in people's days. And I love that because I get more opportunities to be of service and to uplift somebody else in their day. It's amazing. Things just fall into place. Where your attention goes, energy flows. It's as simple as that. And the other point is, guys, at any other point in my life, wakes are not fun, and this is the side of the family that I haven't seen in a long time and I don't interact with, right? And any other point in my life, I would have said, "Oh no, I've got my doctor's appointment. I'm not going." But I try not to be that person today. I try to do the opposite of what I would always do in my former life. So it was important to me to show up and represent my family because two of my brothers are away, out of town, and my sister's in Florida. So my brother that is local and myself showed up to represent the family and show respect. That was never something I would have been concerned with in my former life, but it means the world to me today, and it was very nice to be able to do so. At least you're showing support and sympathy to somebody going through an absolute. Can you imagine my poor aunt is burying her 37-year-old daughter? The two of them were best friends. Neither one of them were married. Both divorced or whatever the situation, but they were living together and they were building a little life together, and it's just an absolute tragedy. But it was nice to be able to be there to support somebody else today, and that's what my life is all about. And I'm honored to be able to do so. But again, none of this would have happened had I not taken the time to decide to understand who I was. And that was we went on a whole big tangent. We're right around back, circling back up to the beginning here. My whole point walking in rehab was I have to find out who I am. And guys, I always didn't like who I was because I was going to find out who I was, and that's why I treated myself like shit and allowed other people to do so as well. Now I'm finding the actual true person that I am, the person that I was meant to be, and the one whose soul has a purpose here on earth. I love the person I am, and I'm loving the person I'm becoming, and therefore I'm engaging with my world more and more every day, and I'm stepping up my game to be the best version of me every single day, and then to reach a higher plateau tomorrow and then step beyond that the day after. And I'm absolutely loving the results. Forgive me, guys, still working with the teeth here. I have my dentist appointment tomorrow to get the adjustment done. And it's the other thing, guys. I'm going to advocate for myself. Instead of him telling me what he feels it should be, I'm going to actually speak up and let him know the top aren't bad. They need a little adjustment. The bottom need a serious adjustment. They got to remove about a third of the material all the way around for them to even remotely function. And I know they're going to be very reluctant to do so. But I already know that's what the end result is going to be. So rather than having it take the next 3 months to get there, I'm going to push and let them know that one of two things has to happen. Either you got to cut these things down drastically and go from there, or start fresh and stop, because these things are ridiculous. I mean, again, I appreciate the fact that I have a smile and I have teeth, but I can't eat with them. And just talking, the base is so, literally pushes all the way around my face. So if I push my face in at all, it'll pop them right out. And and if I put implants in to hold that, it's just going to cut my gums to shreds. They need a lot more adjustment than that, and that's fine. But that's what it's all about. But again, it's not going to. In my former life, guys, I was always afraid to advocate for myself and say my side of things. And I'm a very intelligent person. I understand what's going on here. So tomorrow, and the thing, I was always so concerned with making somebody feel uncomfortable. Yet it's my comfort that I'm dealing with here. So I'm going to remain very polite about it, but I'm going to advocate and I make myself perfectly clear that what's going on is not even within the realm of adjustment. We need to do some drastic alterations. And again, if I don't advocate for myself, and I tell you these things, guys, because you have to do so. It's not always comfortable, but it doesn't have to be. You don't have to be rude about it, but you've got to make your situation known. If you don't express the help you need, you're not going to get the help you need. And that goes for me, and goes for anybody else. Guys, we're getting a little bit up in time, trying to keep it short. Guys, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it very much. But again, take these lessons to heart, guys, and challenge yourself. If every one of us does just a little bit every day to make ourselves better, we'll make such a difference in this world, and we can help others around us in ways that we never see coming. And it's a beautiful thing. We're all family, guys. There's only one race, the human race. We're all brothers and sisters here. There's but one Father, regardless of what you want to call him. And we need to work together and just make it a better place. And it starts by figuring out who you are and humbling yourself and not trying to portray somebody you're not. And I say this for myself, not anybody else. And I'm saying it because it's an example I've started doing, and it's working amazingly well. For once in my life, I'm actually taking the time to find out who I am and then go after the things that matter to me. And I'm finding out the things that matter to me are beautiful things that make the world a better place. And that makes me feel good about myself. Guys, God loves you. I love you. Thank you so much for being here. We will see you in the next one.